The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the Ctheran ambassador slammed his triple-jointed appendage against the obsidian table. "Your species is unfit for advanced combat integration," he hissed, his translator crackling with barely contained contempt. "You lack the biological enhancements, the neural conditioning, the sheer physical dominance required to control a Vrexian warbeast." Commander James Mitchell stood his ground, his weathered face betraying no emotion. 20 years in the Marine Corps had taught him patience, especially when dealing with alien bureaucrats who thought humanity's recent entry into galactic society made them second-class citizens. "With respect, Ambassador," Mitchell replied evenly, "humanity has been training apex predators for millennia. We've turned wolves into companions, raptors into hunting partners. We understand the psychology of dominance and trust." The Ctheran's mandibles clicked and what Mitchell had learned was their equivalent of dismissive laughter. "Your domesticated animals are nothing compared to a Vrexian. They are engineered for war, modified across 10,000 generations to be the perfect killing machines. They respond only to psionic commands, neural overrides, and pain compliance systems. Your primitive verbal communication is useless." Around the circular chamber, representatives from a dozen species watched the exchange with varying degrees of interest. The insectoid Zephytes chittered among themselves. The aquatic nereids observed through their fluid-filled tanks with unreadable expressions. Only Ambassador Elena Rodriguez from the Luna colony met Mitchell's eyes with an encouraging nod. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order," suggested Praetor Vexulan, the Vrexian representative whose species had bred the warbeasts. His crystalline form refracted the chamber's light into dancing rainbows. "We have a juvenile in the holding bay. Untrained, unbound. Let your Commander Mitchell attempt to establish control using your, what did you call them? Training methods." The Ctheran's satisfaction was palpable. "An excellent suggestion. This will conclusively prove humanity's unsuitability for the frontier wars." Mitchell knew a setup when he saw one, but backing down wasn't in his nature. "I accept, with one condition. I choose who performs the demonstration." "Agreed," Vexulan chimed, his crystalline voice ringing like bells. "Choose your finest warrior, your most experienced handler." Mitchell tapped his comm unit. "Send her in." The chamber doors hissed open, and every alien in the room turned to see who humanity's champion would be. The Ctheran's mandibles froze mid-click. Walking into the council chamber, escorted by Lieutenant Marcus Webb, was a small human child. She couldn't have been more than 7 years old, with auburn hair pulled back in a ponytail and wearing a simple blue dress. She carried a worn stuffed rabbit under one arm. "This is a joke," the Ctheran sputtered. "You insult this council with—" "This is Emma Mitchell," the commander interrupted, his voice carrying the weight of absolute certainty. "My daughter. And she's the best animal trainer I know." The walk to the holding bay was tense. Emma held her father's hand, seemingly unconcerned by the procession of alien dignitaries following them. Lieutenant Webb had briefed Mitchell on what they were about to face, a juvenile Vrexian warbeast, barely 6 months old but already the size of an earth tiger, with armored scales, razor-sharp claws, and a mouth full of serrated teeth designed to tear through starship hull plating. The holding bay was a massive arena, designed to contain the most dangerous specimens in the galaxy. Through the reinforced transparent aluminum, they could see the creature, a nightmarish fusion of reptile and mammal, its midnight blue scales rippling over corded muscle. Its 6 eyes, arranged in 2 rows, glowed with predatory intelligence. It paced the enclosure with barely restrained violence, occasionally slamming against the walls with enough force to make the entire structure shudder. "The beast has been fitted with a standard pain compliance collar," Vexulan explained, indicating the metallic band around the creature's neck. "Without psionic control or neural override commands, you will need to remove the collar," Emma said quietly. Every alien in the observation deck turned to stare at the small human child. "Impossible," the Ctheran declared. "The beast will kill anything that enters its space. The collar is the only thing preventing." "Remove it," Mitchell repeated his daughter's words, his tone brooking no argument. Now. Vexulon hesitated, then manipulated the controls. The collar fell away from the warbeast's neck, clattering to the arena floor. The creature's response was immediate and terrifying. It threw back its head and released a sound that was part roar, part screech, a challenge that made several of the alien observers step back involuntarily. Emma stepped toward the entry portal. "Emma," Mitchell said softly, kneeling beside his daughter. "Are you sure?" She looked up at him with those clear, fearless eyes. "Dad, he's scared. Just like Thunder was when we found him at the shelter. Remember? Everyone said he was too aggressive, too damaged. But he just needed someone to understand." Mitchell's throat tightened. Thunder, their rescue dog back on Earth, had been scheduled for euthanasia before Emma had walked into his kennel and somehow known exactly what he needed. Within a week, the vicious, untrainable animal had been sleeping at the foot of her bed. "Okay, princess. But I'm going in with you." "No," she said simply. "He needs to see just me. Too many people make them more scared." Before Mitchell could protest, Elena Rodriguez placed a hand on his shoulder. "Trust her, James. Isn't that what this is all about? Showing them what humanity can do." The entry portal irised open, and Emma walked into the arena alone. The warbeast's attention snapped to her immediately. Its 6 eyes narrowed, and it dropped into a predatory crouch. In the observation deck, the Ctheran was already composing his report on humanity's spectacular failure. Emma walked forward slowly, her movements calm and unhurried. She held the stuffed rabbit out in front of her like a peace offering. The warbeast's nostrils flared, sampling her scent. A low rumble emanated from its chest, a sound that would have sent trained warriors running for cover. Emma sat down cross-legged on the arena floor, 10 feet from certain death. "Hi," she said conversationally, as if greeting a neighbor's pet. "You must be really confused. I bet this place is scary, huh? All these weird smells and sounds and people staring at you." The warbeast's rumble intensified, but it didn't attack. Its head tilted slightly, a gesture that seemed almost curious. "I'm Emma. I'm scared too sometimes. Like when I had to start at a new school on Mars Station. Everyone was different, and I didn't know the rules, and I just wanted to go home." She hugged her stuffed rabbit. "But then I made friends. Maybe we could be friends." The creature took a step forward. Then another. Its claws scraped against the arena floor with a sound like swords being drawn. Every alien in the observation deck leaned forward, unable to look away from the impending tragedy. Emma didn't move. She just kept talking in that soft, steady voice. "You're really beautiful, you know that. Those scales, the way they shine. And your eyes. I bet you can see all sorts of things I can't. Are you a boy or a girl? I'm going to call you Rex. That's a good strong name." The warbeast was now 3 feet away. Its hot breath stirred Emma's hair. Its mouth opened slightly, revealing those terrible teeth. In the observation deck, Mitchell's hand was on his sidearm, though he knew it would be useless if things went wrong. Emma slowly extended her hand, palm up, letting the creature catch her scent. "It's okay, Rex. Nobody's going to hurt you anymore. I promise." The warbeast's nose touched her palm. Then, impossibly, it pressed its massive head against her small hand. Emma smiled and began to scratch behind what passed for its ears. "Good boy. You're such a good boy." For a long moment, nothing else happened. The child and the monster, existing in perfect harmony. Then Emma did something that made every alien in the observation deck question everything they thought they knew about apex predators and combat conditioning. She looked directly into those 6 glowing eyes and said one word, "Sit." The warbeast sat. Not slowly, not reluctantly, but immediately and completely, its haunches folding beneath it as naturally as if it had been trained for years. The silence in the observation deck was absolute. "How? The Ktherin whispered, his translator struggling to convey his shock. Emma stood up, still maintaining eye contact with Rex. "Stay," she said, and walked toward the exit portal. The Warbeast remained perfectly still, watching her with what could only be described as adoration. She turned back. "Okay, Rex. Come." The creature bounded toward her like an oversized puppy, its tail, Mitchell hadn't even noticed it had a tail, wagging with pure joy. When Emma emerged from the arena with the Warbeast walking calmly at her side, the alien observers were silent. She looked up at her father and shrugged. "Can we keep him?" Commander Mitchell couldn't help but laugh. He looked at the assembled representatives, at their shocked expressions and dawning realization. "Humanity doesn't control through fear or pain or neural overrides," he said quietly. "We connect. We empathize. We understand that even the most dangerous creatures are still creatures, with needs and fears and a capacity for trust. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us invaluable to your frontier wars." Praetor Vexulan's crystalline form pulsed with rapid colors, indicating deep thought. "In 10,000 years of breeding, we never considered, we always assumed force was the only language of warriors." "Maybe," Mitchell replied, watching his daughter play with the galaxy's most feared combat creature, "you've been asking the wrong warriors." The Galactic Council voted unanimously to accept humanity's integration into the frontier war effort. Not as foot soldiers or cannon fodder, but as handlers, trainers, and partners to the very creatures that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia. And Emma Mitchell, age 7, became the first human to officially join the Vrexian Warbeast Corps, with Rex as her partner. The Ktherin never lived it down.